It's quite a big question. But I think before one can avoid either literalism or its opposite, as regards my own particular legacy, it's important, first of all, that one should become acquainted with that legacy. And sometimes a little surprised by the fact that quite a few order members seem not to have read some of my books, even those which I consider of some importance. So I think before one decides, what among Sangharakshita's teachings are outdated and what is still relevant, etc., etc., one should at least have a very thorough knowledge of all those teachings of various kinds before one comes to any sort of conclusion. It may be that we've outgrown some approaches, it may be not. And I wouldn't exclude the possibility that some of the things that I've said or taught needs to be taken literally. Others perhaps need to be adapted to the new environment. But I think we should be very careful not to be carried away by a sort of craze for new formulations or new ways of doing things. I think in FWBO and Protestant Buddhism, which is one of the least read of all my books, but also one of the most valuable, I think, I've discussed the limitations of this whole conception of the new. Advertisers used to say that, well, if you could present something as new, that was a selling point. So we have to beware that in teaching the Dharma, we don't try to make it new, or another current phrase, make it sexy. Apparently, I noticed that this word is used more and more, that as a sort of a seal of approval. If something is sexy, well, it means it's more attractive and more admirable and more worthwhile and so on. So I hope no one ever thinks in terms of sexing up my teachings, whether literally or metaphorically. And in any case, before deciding how to follow that noble middle way with regard to them, people at least do me the justice of acquainting themselves pretty fully with what I've actually written and what I've actually taught. It's not going to be so easy as it were to re-found the FWBO.